Meet Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast. He used to be some kid from North Carolina. Now he's the biggest YouTuber on the planet. His chocolate brand Feastables sold out hours after launch. In 2023 alone, he pulled in over $80 million. Research shows the average American would need to save for more than 1,400 years to match that. And this is Logan Paul. Heard of him? Yeah, me too. His fans lost millions on his NFT game CryptoZoo, which never even launched. Investors accused the guy of a massive scam, but the court tossed out the case. While the victims were kicking themselves, Paul sold his old Puerto Rico mansion for $14 million, then bought a new villa right next door for $32.5 million. This is the Prime Minister of Japan, who never came close to that kind of money. Instead, he died from overwork. But Jake Paul here doesn't have that problem. His garage is packed with supercars worth millions. So why am I telling you all this? Because the system clearly doesn't reward effort or morals. I dove deep into research to answer one question. What makes up the cult of success? And can you actually guarantee it? You'll find out why money stops making you happy at some point, where our habit of judging everything comes from, why the 10,000-hour rule is bogus, and what Elon Musk isn't telling you. I'm Max Evans. Here we don't just talk about hot business and social topics. We dissect how they work from the inside. Let's dive in. Ask yourself, how much money do you need to be happy? 100,000 a year? Maybe 200 or hell, a million? Then everything would be perfect, right? We act as if we can never have too much money. But scientists disagree. Research shows life satisfaction does grow with salary, yeah, but only at first. At some point the curve bends and satisfaction becomes almost boring. That's the moment when you realize money isn't happiness. But why? At first, money covers basics: food, housing, clothes, travel. Then you pass a certain amount. It doesn't change your life. It just upgrades your comparison group. Next minute, what used to impress you doesn't even register anymore. You start wanting slightly fancier stuff. A Dyson hair dryer with the hole, Travis Scott sneakers, massages twice a week. If massage and spa used to feel luxurious, somehow they feel like regular maintenance now. You want to feel energized, wake up better, look better, just to stay at the new normal. It's called hedonic adaptation. Every new peak becomes your new baseline. You adjust and then you want more again. So, want to know how much money is enough for happiness? In Latin America, $35,000 a year is enough. In Australia or New Zealand, $125,000. And for us in North America, about $105,000. Those are the magic six figures everyone dreams about. Except once you hit them, many realize they are not any happier. Because beyond that, every extra dollar doesn't add joy. It just moves you into a company where you're the poorest among the rich. DJ Khaled was right naming his album Suffering from Success, because beyond a certain point, that's not just a title. It's what happens when your life turns into a scoreboard of other people's success. There are websites where you enter your birthday and it shows who achieved what at your age. At 39, for example, Macron became president. Michael Jordan retired at 35 for the second time. You scroll through strangers' highlight reels and deep down, White question starts eating at you. Where do I rank? This habit of turning your life into a permanent scoreboard is one of the main traps of the success cult. But where does it even come from? Ask first graders who can dance. Everyone raises their hand. Who can sing? Everyone again. Who can draw? Still everyone. Ask high schoolers the same questions. Silence. Maybe a couple of kids timidly raise a hand. But what happens between first grade and high school? Kids don't lose talents. It's school itself. School teaches them to be afraid of showing themselves. The real issue: by 17, teens know they're being watched and judged. They believe it's better to stay quiet than risk becoming the biggest loser in the room. The habit of judging everything starts in school. First grade, gold stars and stickers, then A's and F's. And in gym class. Remember when team captains pick players? You stand there, praying not to be picked last. Because being last is the worst. The system's supposed to evaluate knowledge and skills, but it actually judges the whole person. When a teacher scolds us in school, we understood it as you don't just lack knowledge, you're a lost cause as a person, and that breaks us. But it's not like that everywhere. In Finland, for example, only major assignments are graded privately in an online journal. Classmates don't see them, because the goal isn't to rub a kid's face in their mistakes, but to motivate and unlock talents. That's why Finland is one of the most educated countries in the world. In adult life, nothing changes. We pick cafes by stars, hotels by ratings, movies by top lists. We are also rated. Credit score, performance cycles, rate our taxi drivers, and everywhere manipulation. If there is a rating system, people inevitably game it. Lots of bad hotels ask you to leave 5 stars on your way out, and we just do it. The result is grade inflation. When we shop on Amazon, we look only for products with a rating between 4.5 and 5.0. Even 4.2 looks suspicious. Perhaps something's wrong with the product. Better not take a chance on something less than perfect, right? At Harvard, the average GPA rose from 2.55 to 3.8 over 70 years. Not because students got smarter, but because everyone's chasing grades instead of real skills. But where will this mindless chase for ratings and grades lead? Now for the most curious part. But first, one important thing. I make a video for this channel every week and the growth could be better. Honestly, the only thing that motivates me is literally the likes I see on every video. So please, if you genuinely enjoyed this video, hit like, leave comments, subscribe. It really supports me. My goal is to help you see the real truth in this fast-changing world. Now let's continue. For many, success is measured by money. Maybe that's why, despite machines replacing manual labor long ago, we work as much as almost any generation before us. Hunter-gatherers spent about 4 hours a day getting food. Medieval peasants worked 8 hours, but only 150 days a year, resting the rest of the time. During the Industrial Revolution, when machines were supposed to free humans, the workday peaked. 16 hours, 6 days a week. Everyone worked, even kids or pregnant women. Today there are formally fewer hours, but they've been frozen for half a century. The Japanese have a special word for it, karoshi. Death from overwork. That's how Japan's Prime Minister Keizo Abuchi died in 2000. During 20 months in office, he had only 3 days off. In the 20th century, a worker became free when leaving the factory gates. The next 16 hours belonged to them. Beer, friends, football, family. In 2026, we're always online. Work chats don't shut up even at 4 a.m. and we somehow manage to spend the rest of our time on courses, self-improvement and podcasts. Because capitalism dictates. Time must always work for you. So we grind 24/7 to prevent ending up at the bottom of the imaginary salary ladder. But does this lead to success or just burnout? Bookstore shelves are packed with self-help bestsellers. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad. One of the first self-help books was written by American Wallace Wattles back in 1910. He claimed that thought is material and the universe wants you to have everything. Basically the first Tony Robbins, just 100 years earlier. Remember this phrase? Simple recipes sell best, but do they work? And where did success stories even come from? You won't guess. From Christianity, or more precisely, Protestantism. Before it appeared, the church preached austerity and indifference to earthly goods. Protestants reasoned differently. God gave everyone a specific talent. If someone amassed a fortune using it, they fulfilled God's plan. Money should beget more money. In America, this idea quickly befriended capitalism, and the American dream was born. Henry Ford was born to simple farmers. He ran away at 16. At 47, he built the most advanced factory of his time. Steve Jobs started a homebrew computer club in a garage. The first Apple presentation happened there. He wore black turtlenecks and jeans his whole life, emphasizing the image of a simple techie. Rihanna sold clothes in her father's stall in Barbados as a kid, then moved to the US at 16 to build a singing career. Shine bright like a diamond, as they say, right? Nice stories, but they all leave out one thing. Starting opportunities, the right moment, the right connection. More on that in a second. You've probably heard the 10,000 hour rule. To master any skill, you just need 10,000 hours of practice. Nice advice, but research has already debunked it. A follow-up study of Berlin Academy students showed the best violinist had fewer practice hours than the good ones. In sports, practice gave only an 18% advantage, the remaining 82%. Genetics, psychomotor abilities, general intelligence, resilience to failure, and self-confidence. Sometimes being in the right place at the right moment. Then there is survivorship bias. Bill Gates dropped out of college and succeeded. Steve Jobs dropped out, same. After reading such stories, you drop out too, but success doesn't come. Why? Because the internet loves survivor stories, never shows the thousands who dropped out and achieved nothing. A study of 12,000 successful people showed over 94% finished college or attended elite schools. Another story, success seminars. Dale Carnegie got rich writing self-help books, but when he wrote rules for a happy marriage, his wife left him. And when he claimed all illness comes from negative thoughts, he fell ill with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Still, Carnegie launched the trend of motivational seminars, and today his followers have millions of courses and schools. There is another problem with motivation. You actually can't have too much. The Yerkes-Dodson law says, as motivation rises, productivity grows at first, but past a certain point, it drops due to stress and tension. The more complex the task, the less motivation you actually need. Simple tasks need a push. Complicated tasks fall apart when you overhype yourself. Too much motivation on complex work doesn't help you focus. It just makes you anxious. On hard tasks, hypermotivation is not your friend, it's your enemy. And the most unpleasant part, success seminars put the problem inside the person. They say your income is your choice. You chose this life. But nobody chooses the family they're born into. Nobody chooses their starting opportunities. This logic is cruel and false. And finally, hidden factors. Elon Musk is considered the ideal self-made man, but few people talk about the starting conditions behind that story. His father, an engineer and property developer, has bragged about having a stake in an emerald business in Zambia at one point, even though later reporting shows it wasn't a formal family mine and the money eventually vanished. And according to the Washington Post, the US government has poured around $38 billion into Musk's companies, in contracts, subsidies, loans, and tax credits that helped them grow. Perseverance is necessary for success, but hidden factors determine how high you can jump. Musk is a great jumper. He just jumped off a trampoline someone else paid for. Constant self-evaluation and the success cult make us want to be straight A students in everything. Media and coaches, online gurus selling successful success like work hard and dream about success more than anything and you'll get it. And when we don't achieve success, we start feeling disappointed in life and in ourselves. What do we do about it? Money is certainly important. It provides comfort, security, and opportunities, but only up to a point. Beyond that, people get their joy from other things. Health, lack of corruption, loved one nearby. There is no universal recipe for success, but there are the right questions. What am I working for? What am I striving for? And what do I actually want from life? Life isn't Forbes 400. You don't need to constantly compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own path. Just follow yours. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel so we don't lose each other. I've got even more interesting stuff coming. See you in a week.